everyone, it's me. First and foremost, I'm sitting in front of the lake in my truck. I'm by the boat launch in our neighborhood. And so I want to say, that's what I see every morning when I wake up. And so anyways, I thought you would enjoy that. But I want to talk about an aspect of estrangement that I don't think has been studied and nor has really been delved into, because estranged parents really are so enmeshed with themselves and their pain and their grief and the loss, etc., that they forget about the other side. And something that's going to have a long-lasting effect on the people who decide to estrange and walk away without saying anything, and they basically ghost or cut contact, etc. And the one aspect of estrangement that we forget about, that a lot of people don't even consider. Now, when our children are at home, normally, you know, they're there for us, good times and bad, and when we're sad, they give us hugs and tell us we're the best parents ever, and they give us kisses, and I love you, Mom, and you're the best. And when my dad passed away, my daughters were there for me, and so there's empathy, compassion, kindness, etc. And the one thing that we don't think about is what happens to the human psyche when a person decides to cut contact, knows their parent is suffering, and does not exhibit empathy, compassion, kindness, concern for, etc. And they say, well, I'm an adult. I don't have to call my mom. I don't have to reach out to her. I don't have to give her a hug. And the example I want to give is when my grandmother passed away at the age of 100, and I was very close to my grandmother, and I recorded her a lot when she was talking through my phone. And she was a sweetheart. And when my grandmother passed away, the estrangement had gone on for quite some time already. It put probably 9-10 years at that point, maybe 8 or 9 years, etc. And my youngest daughter showed up to the house, sat adjacent to me, next to my grandma's lap. And I tried to talk to her, and she ignored me. And that was tough. That was real tough. And I tried to say something to her, and she looked at her cell phone, and it was tough. And then at the funeral, my daughters were both in attendance, and someone said, hey, you should go give your mom a hug. And they said, we don't have to, we're adults. And there was not one shred of kindness, compassion, hug, I'm sorry. And that was a real kicker. And although I have moved on with my life, and I'm married, and I have a new house, and I have birds and everything, there's gotta be a real kickback inside of someone that shuts down. And even though I'm sure when they're out on the street, or they see a story on the news about someone who's been shot, and they feel sorry for, they can feel sorrow for someone else that's hurting. When you can't extend that to a parent or someone that has truly loved you, there's gotta be, it's gotta be a real struggle. I don't have to, it's not important, you know, she raised me, but, you know, she gave birth to me, but that's as far as it goes, and I don't have any responsibility to her. There's got to be something long-term, which eventually will manifest itself in very, very, very harmful ways. And when Darrell Brooks drove through the Christmas parade in Wisconsin a few years back, I know my youngest daughter lives in Wisconsin, in Waukesha, and I thought, well, seeing how short life is and the tragedy that affected that area, maybe she'll reach out. And I also was concerned, was she in the parade with her husband and my grandchildren and things like that? And still, there was no wake-up call. And any one of us I could drive home right now and be done and no longer exist in this world. And so you have to think, it's not just estranging from someone, but the long-term effects of cutting someone off without having a conversation, without saying, hey, you know, if we could just get on the same page about this, or you hurt my feelings, or I wish this would have been different, my childhood sucked, you know, maybe you were a shitty parent. To be able to express yourself to your parent, to say, you know what, I'm really angry with you, I'm really mad with you, I'm really sad. The way you treated me was XYZ. You know, my dad was an alcoholic. Eventually he apologized for not being the father I needed and wanted, and I said, I forgive you, you're my dad. And he was my best friend. So just want to say that's a long-term consequence when an individual cannot show empathy and compassion for another human being. I don't know. It's just a thought that came to mind, and I can't speak on behalf of anyone else or say that so-and-so should go get help or talk to someone, but just to have some kind of a resolution, to speak your mind, to speak your piece, to speak your hurts and pains. There's something to be able to release it and get an apology from the person who you believe has harmed you, has caused you pain, who wronged you. And a lot of parents who are estranged really would apologize if they knew what it was. So that's all I wanted to say. That's a long-term consequence, and I'll be back.